All right, what book do we have now?
We have We're Not From Here.
Ooh, that's a pretty interesting title page.
It is, and
or cover.
There's a picture of a little boy with 2 huge mosquitoes next to him. So, yes.
Interesting.
It's science fiction. Go ahead and set off the genre.
Oh.
Yes, because, yeah, science fiction, yeah.
So, what would be a summary for this novel for you?
So, for this book, I got through chapter 1. And it was, this is one of the books, like, it's funny, with some of these books, there aren't a lot of words on each page, or they're really spaced out. This one had lots of words on the page, so it was very condensed. So, to summarize what I've read so far, there's a main character, you don't catch their name, but I think it's a boy. Mm-hmm. And he and his friends live on a space colony on Mars. Mm-hmm. So they had to leave the Earth, and they now live in space. And you get an introduction. So there's talk that they're going to try to find a new planet to live on, and you get a lot of backstory about the main character's sister, who was a contestant in this universe's version of American Idol, and she made it to like the finale or something. But when the world ended, when the Earth, got destroyed, we don't know why the Earth. We don't know why they had to. So far, I don't know why they had to leave the Earth, but I don't know if it's like climate related or an atomic bomb or something. But she wasn't able to compete in the competition. Yeah. So you get a lot of backstory about his sister that you weren't really expecting.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So what is it? What would be your personal statement for this book?
Let's see, a personal statement about the book. The idea of having to leave Earth and live in space is very unsettling to me. Even if we lived in the book, I think they're on a planet. They're just in an enclosure, or they're still in space. I don't remember, but the idea of not living on Earth, basically, I do not like that. And the main character's sister, the one I was telling you about, the one who was in the competition, she's having a really hard time living in this new environment, and she's in a depressive episode, and I think that would be me. It'd be very difficult for me to get used to living in space. I don't know why that. Not living in space, but you're used to Earth, obviously, but just the idea of living on a different planet and
yeah, they apparently NASA, or I don't know which company it is, but they are training astronauts to go to Mars,
which is crazy. There. It's a real thing. This is not this is something that people are actually considering.
Yeah, and all these billionaires or trillionaires are sending people out.
And then you have to think to yourself, would you wait until stuff hit the fan to go, or would you go right now?
I think I'd have to stay here.
I think I'd stay here too. I'd be like. But then but even the main character talks about how lucky he and his family were that they got out in time. Yeah. There's this really cryptic line, it's not everybody made it out. And I'm see, that would be me. Yeah. I have a feeling, I don't know, I think the Earth is still okay.
Well, all the climate change and stuff is
I know. So
scary.
It doesn't settle me reading this. I'm
I don't think it would me either.
No.
So, for your critique and evaluation, you wrote, does the story appear to be significantly plausible or technically possible?
I think is scientifically
plausible or technically possible.
Technologically possible.
Oh.
You're fine. Okay, read.
Yes. So, how does this factor in with your critique and everything? And you also wrote that it was on page 115.
Yes, so support for that statement is on page 115 in the book. So, let's see. What's the second part of that critique? It's technologically what?
You said technically possible?
Oh, technologically. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be
down here.
Technically, like technology
Oh,
possible.
okay.
Like, is the technology? Look at my hands. Is the technology possible? Okay. I want to say yes because on page 115. Oh shoot, not page 115. Excuse me.
15?
No. Page 2.
Hmm.
Whoops. All right. I'm sorry. On page 2, the main character talks about biosuspension, and that's when you go to sleep so you don't have to deal with a really long travel time. So they're talking about a planet that would take them 15 years to get to. And, you know, I don't know what scientists are developing. I don't really follow that. But, I mean, I think a technology like that would be possible. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you did enough work and did enough research, I think something like biosuspension would be possible. And then the other, it's scientifically plausible. Okay, I obviously, like what you and I just talked about like 3 seconds ago, the Earth is dying, and I completely believe that. And the Earth is not doing well. And so that's scientifically, possible that the Earth could break down to a point where it's no longer viable for us to live there. And again, me saying the Earth is dying is a little dramatic, just, but again, in this chapter, it talks about the world not doing well, and I don't know if that means people are fighting, or if it's the climate, but I'm gonna assume for right now the book is talking about the Earth just falling apart climate-wise, and that's scientifically possible.
Yeah.
Very possible.
It's very scary.
It is. Well, on that note, that's all I have to say about this book.